This is Teresa Poplos, Editor-in-Chief of Dr. Bicuspid. I am so excited to be doing another episode of Dental Dose with pharmacologist extraordinaire, Tom Viola. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Teresa. You're too kind. Thank you. It's good seeing you again.
You too. So today we're doing an episode that I'm really excited about because I genuinely don't know about it, and I want to learn why. This is, I think it's called a contraindication. Is that
contraindication?
See, nope. It's like bupivacaine. So hard to say for me. But I'm getting better at bupivacaine.
You are.
Contraindication.
I just call it a drug interaction.
That's drug interaction. So much easier.
That works.
All right. Long intro to say. Today we're talking about grapefruit juice. Which is a drug interaction. And, you see on various medications, it says, don't drink grapefruit juice. And I'm like, what is it about grapefruit juice in particular? It's never orange juice. It's never cranberry juice. Why grapefruit juice? So you're going to break it down for us, Tom.
I am. And the first thing I'm going to say is I just contradicted myself completely, okay? Because technically, it's not a drug interaction.
It's not.
It's a drug.
But is it a
It's a contraindication. That's correct.
Contraindication.
But it's a drug-nutrient interaction. It's a drug-food interaction, if you will. It's not really a drug-drug interaction that we mostly talk about.
See, it's already weird. It's
right?
Already weird from the start. So, like a nutrient interaction. Like, what is that even? Tell us, Tom. I want to know.
Well, I will tell you how this all started. This all started with my dad, because my dad is 94. He's a walking pharmacologic nightmare as it is, okay? So he takes his Lipitor every morning, which he's supposed to do, right? So lately, he started taking his Lipitor, and he's getting more muscle aches and more muscle pains from his Lipitor. And he's complaining to me because, I'm his son, the pharmacist, but, I'm also free. So he calls me up and says, so what's going on? Why is my Lipitor causing me more pain? I don't know. I'm thinking, knowing my dad. So I go to his house and I'm trying to figure it out. I can't figure it out. And I open up his fridge, and in there's grapefruit juice. And I said, are you drinking grapefruit juice? So my dad takes his Lipitor every morning with a full glass of grapefruit juice.
Not even a half glass. Just like, I'm going to pour my full glass of grapefruit juice.
A tall glass of grapefruit juice. And I'm like, why are you drinking grapefruit juice with your medication? And his answer was,
drinking grapefruit juice in general? No, I'm just kidding. Grapefruit juice is delicious. So.
Some people like it. That's fine. And I'm like, but why? And he's like, because I like it. I'm like, I know you like it, but it interacts with your medications. And so imagine my shame. The pharmacist, my own dad, succumbs to a drug nutrient interaction or a drug food interaction. And I'm not aware of it. I failed as a pharmacist and a son, I guess, at the same time. So I said, you can't drink grapefruit juice with your medication. Drink orange juice like the rest of humanity. Lay off the grapefruit juice, okay? Nothing doing. He doesn't like orange juice. So he goes to the store and comes back with a six-pack.
Sorry to your dad, but how do you not like orange juice?
I said, haven't you visited the state of Florida? Don't you know orange juice is pretty popular? Okay.
Have you tried California orange juice?
Oh, yes, that's true. I've heard, right? But I mean, considering we live on the East Coast.
I'm biased. I live in Southern California, but top notch, in my opinion. Anyway.
I would agree. So he goes to the store and buys a six-pack of POM. What's POM? Pomegranate juice. The only other juice that could cause the same problem, okay? So what is it about these juices and what do they do?
What is it about the juices? Because you don't see it for the grapefruit itself. You don't see it for the warning, like don't eat a bunch of pomegranates.
Well, they should, that's the thing.
Oh, interesting.
Because it's the fruit itself, the juice, even like the grapefruit seed extract, some people believe has the same effect. So what is the effect? It's very simple. So grapefruit interacts with medications by interfering with or inhibiting liver enzymes. So the same cytochrome P450 liver enzyme system that we rely on almost all the time, and for a lot of medications, to break down medications, is very susceptible to interactions with other things. And so grapefruit juice interacts by slowing those enzymes down. So if you slow the enzyme system down by inhibiting the enzyme system, now other drugs that are metabolized by those same enzymes don't get metabolized as much. What does that mean? It means the medications last longer than they should. So if you think about the medication going through your body and going through your liver, every pass to the liver, it should get broken down more and more. But because now this particular liver enzyme system is inhibited, less of the medication gets broken down than should, so the medication lasts longer and longer. And in the case of a statin, like atorvastatin, like Lipitor, that could mean the difference between not having muscle aches and having muscle aches, because your atorvastatin lasts longer and is therefore more likely to cause side effects.
Interesting.
Now, so people say to me, all right, well, then I'll drink my grapefruit juice in the morning and I'll take my atorvastatin at night.
But it's still the same path.
24-hour effect. There's no safe time to take your medication with grapefruit juice. Sorry for all the grapefruit growers in America and beyond. I apologize, but if your patients aren't taking medications, drink all you want, okay? But if you're taking medications that have an interaction with grapefruit juice, don't do it.
So statins, what are some other common ones that patients may have?
So Lipitor, atorvastatin, right? Crestor was suvastatin. The first one of them all was Mevacor, lovastatin. So there's a bunch of statins, Pravachol, Pravastatin. There's a bunch of statins. Pomegranate juice doesn't have the same 24-hour effect. There is a period in which pomegranate juice does not interact or slow down liver enzymes. So it's possible you could take pomegranate juice and still take your medication, but I wouldn't want to take that chance because it's not a very fine line. It's kind of fuzzy.
Mm-hmm. Are there any other juices besides grapefruit and pomegranate that you know of?
Not that I know of, but I will add as a bonus feature for this episode only, Teresa.
All right, bonus feature.
A bonus feature. Let's add in some common over-the-counter drugs.
Okay.
That might cause a similar problem. And then so I'll pick one over-the-counter drug, and I'll pick one prescription drug that dentists and hygienists who have prescribing privileges might prescribe, okay?
All
as
right.
a bonus feature. So the first one is a drug called Tagamet. So Tagamet is a gastric acid inhibitor. It inhibits the production of gastric acid, okay? How does it do it? It inhibits an enzyme, a whole receptor called the histamine 2 receptor. And by blocking the histamine 2 receptor in the parietal cells, you make less stomach acid, right? Gastric acid. Okay, so you're going to make less acid. That's wonderful. People have heartburn, etc. Okay. Other drugs related to Tagamet would be drugs that are more popular, like Zantac, Pepsid. Okay, so then why are we talking about Tagamet? Okay, because Zantac is right now a worldwide recall. I think it may be coming back soon, or it's already back, but for a long time it was on worldwide recall. Why? One of the ingredients in the manufacturing of Zantac, one of the adulterants, if you will, was found to cause cancer. So that's one way to get rid of your heartburn. I wouldn't recommend it, right? So that's why we don't use Zantac right now. Okay. Pepsid. Well, Pepsid's a great drug, but Pepsid's in short supply right now too, because a lot of people are using it to ameliorate the COVID-19 symptomology that occurs when COVID-19 enters the body via the GI. So, okay, Pepsid may be in short supply. So a lot of people just switched to Tagamet because Tagamet was available, right? There's plenty of Tagamet on the shelf.
It's funny how that happens.
Yeah. So Tagamet is another enzyme inhibitor, and it impacts dentistry just like it impacts other professions. It impacts dentistry more because Tagamet actually interferes with the enzyme system that breaks down lidocaine.
Oh dear.
So if you inject someone with lidocaine to anesthetize them, if they have Tagamet on board, it actually makes the lidocaine last longer. Not necessarily here, you wouldn't get more profound effect from the lidocaine at the injection site, but the lidocaine isn't broken down as quickly now. So the circulating lidocaine lasts longer and can have more effects, like effects on the brain, effects on the heart. So these patients may suffer, slowed cognition, slower heartbeat from the combination of Tagamet and lidocaine. Now, the reason I bring it up is because, number one, patients don't know you're giving them lidocaine. They just know you're giving them, Novocaine. Everybody thinks you use Novocaine, right? You use lidocaine. Okay, that's first thing. But the other thing is, how many people think to mention to you, the dental practitioner, that they take Tagamet?
Right. Yeah.
They're taking it for heartburn, right? That in their mind, that's not a big deal. And it's over the counter. That can't be harmful. If they wouldn't sell it over the counter if it was harmful. So they may not mention it to you, and then that can lead to, obviously more side effects.
That's so fascinating.
So that's the over-the-counter drug. Now we'll talk about the prescription drug that dentists and oral hygienists with prescribing privileges might prescribe, and that is the drug Diflucan Fluconazole. So Diflucan, which is very often prescribed for candidiasis, both oral candidiasis, vaginal candidiasis, very great antifungal. I mean, as an azole antifungal, Diflucan Fluconazole does the job, okay? Yes, it can cause liver damage. It's possible, but it does wipe out fungi, specifically Candida. So it's awesome for us. But Diflucan Fluconazole is also a cytochrome P450 enzyme inhibitor. So again, it slows down that liver enzyme system. And if another drug happens to go through that same liver enzyme system, voila, the drug lasts longer than it should. And now, unfortunately, you have more side effects potentially, and maybe even toxicity potentially.
That's really good to know. And I think, a good reminder of just there are so many of these interactions, mostly drug interactions in the case of grapefruit and pomegranate juice, nutrient interactions. But there's so much to be aware of. And it seems like a really good reminder to do a very thorough health history and to double check, hey, are you taking these prescription medications, but also are you taking these non-prescription, these over-the-counter medications? Because patients, they don't think to tell you.
Always three questions, right? We always talk about this. What are the three questions you take a medical history? What do you take? Don't say drug, don't say medicine, just what do you take? Get them to say everything, right? Why do you take it? Because some medications are used for multiple things. So you want to know why you're taking it. And did you take it today? Because a lot of people take medications, but don't take them on a regular basis.
All very important questions, especially when dealing with anesthetics and a lot of the other prescriptions and dental drugs that, dentists and, like you said, hygienists with prescribing privileges use, and they're in the practice. So that's very helpful. And it's good to know why then grapefruit juice is one of the nutrient interactions, and how it's broken down. That's so fascinating.
Now, be careful with this, Teresa. With great knowledge comes great responsibility. So,
fortunately, I don't think anyone I know drinks grapefruit juice. We are all California orange juice friends. It is amazing. I would recommend your father to try California orange juice.
If you can get him to drink anything but grapefruit, I'm with you 100%. Absolutely.
That's so funny though. I feel like some people though, even knowing everything, are stubborn and they love their grapefruit juice and they're like, gosh darn it, nothing is as good as grapefruit juice. Which is so funny. I think it's funny that your dad switched out grapefruit juice and then was like, well, I might as well drink pomegranate juice, which is,
yeah,
sounds like something I would do without knowing.
Well, I'm his son. I don't know what I'm talking about anyway. No, that's all right.
Were there any other juices besides grapefruit and pomegranate?
Not that I'm aware of. If there are more, I'd love to hear from the audience if they could give me some more suggestions. Those are the only two I'm aware of. But again, there may be more. I just don't know about them.
Yeah, I would be curious too. There's probably a lot more because there's so many interesting, weird juices. But in order for us to be aware of something, it has to be popular enough, I would imagine, for enough cases to come up. And so that's so fascinating and really interesting. Nutrient interactions. Well, thank you so much, Tom, for breaking down nutrient and non-nutrient interactions for us today. And I will see you in the next episode of Dental Dose.
Thanks, Teresa. Thanks so much.